Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, we're talking about one of the most important parts of your adventure filmmaking kit that a lot of people just don't talk about, and that is a selfie stick, action camera, GoPro pole, this thing. Okay, this is what most people talk about as just a selfie stick. Put the camera on it, go like this. You can get that, nice selfie shot, as you will. But there's a lot more to an action camera pole than you would think. There are so many cheap options on the market. Why would you pay more than a few bucks for this? Because at the end of the day, what it is just a stick that you put a camera on the end. Well, that's the completely wrong way to think about it. An action camera pole actually has a lot of value, and it's something that I use all the time. This is like one of those essential parts of my filmmaking kit, but I don't really talk about it that much because it's one of those things that when you have a good one, it just works and you get really awesome footage with it. So what do you use a pole like this for? I mean, basically what you use it for is the name selfie stick comes from. You get selfies of yourself. When you're out there making films, doing vlogs, venturing, there's a lot of times where you want to get a shot of yourself. And I'm not talking just holding the camera out like this, doing the whole, vlog selfie thing. I'm talking about you're doing something crazy. You're going to want to get a cool shot of yourself, such as like snowboarding or like jumping off a cliff. Like there's a lot of times where I find myself needing a stick that goes really far away, because it can get a shot of my entire body doing an action. So I don't need another person there to film me. I can film it all myself, and depending on the situation, I might not have the option to have someone else film me. What dictates a good selfie stick action camera pole? Well, there's a few things, and the one that I use and the one that I trust any of my cameras on is the POV Gear HEX. Now this thing is amazing. It's made out of carbon fiber, so it's super light, and it's just got a lot of elements to it that make it a very awesome stick. There's a ton of sticks on the market. They all do this, they extend, they get the shot. But what makes this one different is A, the carbon fiber. Like I said, that's a big part of it. B is that it's very easy to use. You just half twist, pull, half twist back, quarter twist, whatever, and it's locked. It is not moving. This thing, you could put a ton of weight on here and it's not going to budge, it's not gonna fall, anything like that. Now I have like 3 other sticks in my closet back here, and all of these sticks, when you put a little weight or pressure on them, the camera will shove down towards the base, which is really bad. When you have a stick like this and you put something on it, you don't want it moving around. So that's a big factor why this stick is very good. So this obviously is for a GoPro or other cameras that use this kind of GoPro mount. And this is all made of metal, so it's not gonna break. But the beauty of this is you can untwist it, and now you just have a 1/4-20 mount, which is for pretty much anything out there that you can mount on here. And surprisingly, you can mount something like a gimbal on the end of this and get some really cool shots. For example, I was using the DJI Osmo, so you can create a jib-like shot using one of these poles and a gimbal. So you can do these really cool fluid shots with just this and a small gimbal. This is not gonna break. You put a bunch of weight on the end of this, it's not gonna break. It's a very strong piece of equipment. And it's something that is very important when you're traveling. You don't wanna have your pole break halfway through your trip. It makes a huge difference when you have a strong pole, not a piece of plastic pole. I have one pole that I used to use a lot, it's plastic, and it just broke one day just jumping off a rock. So you need to have something that's strong, and you also need to have something that's comfortable to grip. The rubber grips make a huge difference. One thing about this particular pole is that you can actually unscrew every piece and pull them apart. You might think, why are you pulling it apart? Well, basically, if you go in like salt water, you can go through and clean this entire thing and not have issues with it backing up or getting clogged, which does happen with these kind of poles. And if you break anything on this, everything's completely replaceable. Each of these parts is replaceable. And one more thing about having a good action camera pole. Like I was saying, there's so many creative uses for something like this. For me personally, I've been getting into using 360 cameras a lot. And when you put a 360 camera on a pole, you can get some really cool shots that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. The pole actually gets hidden when the cameras are stitched together, so you can barely see it. And you can take your 360 camera, put it in all these places that you wouldn't normally be able to get a camera and get a smooth rotating shot. So you could stick it like up really high, out a window, down low, off a cliff. Like there's so many things that you can do with the 360, and now you can get a panning shot looking back at you. You can look straight down. Places that you wouldn't normally put like your camera. Like you're not gonna stick your GH5 off a cliff on a stick and then try to rotate it around getting like a cool like moving, sweeping shot. It's just not something you're probably gonna do, but if you have a 360 camera on this, just stick it straight out, hold it, you got your shot. All right guys, that is it for the video. There are so many uses for a pole like this, and it's something that I think everyone needs to have in their kit. If you have an action camera, if you have a gimbal, there's a lot of uses where you can put things on the end of this and get some really cool, awesome shots that you wouldn't be able to get just holding the camera or just having the gimbal on its own. I highly suggest that you add this to your kit. They're not very expensive. They're a good piece of gear to always have on you. And if you want to know more about POV Gear's HEX pole, I'll put a link in the description. Of course, they also just came out with a mini version of this. It's like half the size. Think that this is too big and you want a smaller one, but you still want a pole. They have an awesome version that's even smaller than this. So if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got a lot of awesome filmmaking tutorials. I've also got a lot of travel and adventure vlogs. One of the things I love doing is traveling around the world and bringing you guys different cultures and different places. And the next place I'm headed is Vietnam in like less than 2 weeks. Super excited about that. Lots of awesome whole videos coming. Maybe I'll jump off some things and film myself, or maybe I'll stick like my 360 camera on this, stick it out a train window. So guys, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those videos because they're coming very soon. All right, one last thing. Head over to Instagram, come find me at Jeven Dovey. And guys, I will see you on the next one.